Hi friends, in this video I'm going to cover types of machinery foundation, types of anchor bolts, and how the whole system works. Please be with me. A machinery foundation is a specially designed concrete structure that supports machines, transfers loads safely to the ground, and controls vibration to ensure reliability, alignment, and long-term safety. We will see how a machinery foundation works together as a system. A base plate spreads the machine's weight and forces over the foundation, helping avoid stress and keep alignment and vibration under control. The base plate is fixed to the foundation with anchor bolts to handle loads, but the concrete surface is never perfectly level in real conditions. To fix this, the base plate is leveled using shims or nuts, leaving a small gap that is later filled with non-shrink grout. Once the grout hardens, it gives full contact between base plate and foundation, helping transfer load properly, reduce vibration, and keep alignment stable. Now let's see the types of foundations used for machines. A block foundation is a solid mass of concrete placed directly on soil to support the static load, absorb forces and vibration, prevent settlement and resonance. Here the machine is kept close to the ground to reduce imbalance and improve stability. For compressors and reciprocating type of machines, block-type foundation are generally used. A box-type foundation has hollow spaces instead of a solid block to save concrete and cost. The walls and slabs still give enough strength and control vibration. It is used for large machines like compressors and turbines, with the machine fixed on top using anchor bolts and grout. A wall-type foundation uses vertical walls and a top slab to give strength and control vibration. The open space in between saves concrete and makes maintenance easy. The machine is mounted on the top slab. It is used for long and large machines like compressors and turbines, where the load is distributed along the machine length. A frame-type foundation, also called as tabletop foundation, the machine is supported on columns with vertical column having a horizontal frame at its top. It controls vibration by stiffness, not weight, so proper design is important to avoid resonance. It is used for high-speed machines like turbines and compressors where access and ventilation are needed. One variant of the frame-type foundation is with isolators, where isolators like springs and dampers are located at the top of the supporting column to minimize the response of dynamic loading. Now let's discuss foundation anchor bolts. Foundation anchor bolts connect the machine and its base frame securely to the concrete foundation, transferring operating loads safely into the structure. They maintain alignment, resist vibration, and prevent movement during machine operation. There are two methods to install a foundation bolt. The first one is pre-installed foundation bolts. Pre-installed foundation bolts are cast into the concrete during pouring, so their position must be fixed accurately before concreting. This is done by using a steel template plate, which holds all bolts in the correct location and alignment until the concrete sets. There are two types of pre-installed foundation bolts. First one is where a sleeve is welded to reinforcement bar. The bolt is inserted through this sleeve, and its bottom end is stopped and held in place using a metal plate. A hammer-type bolt, or a bolt with a round plate and nut at the bottom, can be used. The other one is where a round hole is left in concrete. The bolt is inserted through this hole and fixed at the bottom using a plate and nut. The plate and nut are tightened from an opening on the outside of the concrete. Now let's discuss the post-installed foundation bolts. Post-installed foundation bolts are used when exact bolt positions cannot be guaranteed before concreting. Here, bolt pockets are made in the concrete, the bolts are installed later, and the pockets are filled with cement grout or epoxy grout. There are two methods to do this. Method 1, drilled pocket after concreting. Cylindrical holes are drilled in the concrete after it is set. Hole surfaces should be roughened to improve grout bonding. Reinforcement must be located beforehand so it is not damaged during drilling. Method 2, pocket formed during concreting. Temporary material, like wood, is placed before concreting and removed later. Conical pockets are preferred as they give better grout bonding. Now let's see the types of anchor bolt. First one is plate-type foundation bolts. Plate-type anchor bolts have a steel plate at the bottom to give a strong grip in concrete. The plate spreads the load and helps the bolt handle heavy forces safely. They are usually pre-installed or cast in during concreting and held in position by using a template. This is normally used for heavy machines as the plate provides reliable load transfer. The second one is canister bolt. A canister bolt is used in repair when old bolts need replacement but concrete breaking is not possible. In that situation, a hole is drilled in concrete, a steel canister is fixed with epoxy, and the bolt is connected inside. When tightened, the bolt stretches and creates a strong holding force. So let's see what is the recommended anchor bolt length for these systems. When designing an anchor bolt, it is normally divided into two main parts. The upper section, c'est-à-dire, is free stretch length and the lower section, which is embedment length. The upper section, called free stretch length, includes the length of the bolt passing through the base plate, washer, and nut, with at least 2 threads exposed above the nut, and it must also extend a minimum of 12 times the bolt diameter below the underside of the base plate. This part of the bolt is usually inside a sleeve and embedded in the foundation, but it is isolated from the grout. To achieve this isolation, the portion of the bolt that passes through the grout is typically wrapped with duct tape or foam insulation. This is done so that when the nut is tightened and torque is applied, this upper section of the bolt can stretch elastically. The lower section of the anchor bolt, called the embedment, is fully encased in concrete or epoxy and is the part that does not stretch or move. Its job is to anchor the bolt securely in the foundation. At the bottom of the bolt, there must be at least a nut to act as an anti-pull-out device. However, in most modern designs, a resistor plate is used instead of only a nut. This resistor plate is circular and larger in diameter than the bolt, which helps avoid stress concentrations in the concrete. Typically, the resistor plate diameter is about 3 times the bolt diameter, with the plate thickness selected based on the size of the anchor bolt. Now let's see how we can mount the skid to the concrete block. A machine skid can be mounted on a concrete block in 2 ways. In the first method, shims and metal or epoxy chocks are used, which creates a gap between the skid and the concrete or grout. Because the skid does not have full contact with the foundation, the system becomes more flexible, increasing the risk of unacceptable vibrations. In the second and more common method, the skid is installed on a full bed of grout, so the entire bottom of the skid is in contact with the grout and there is no gap. This creates a very stiff support, greatly reducing the risk of vibration problems. For this reason, full bed grouting is the most widely used solution today. Thank you for watching this. If you liked the video, please give a like and subscribe.